First time in your career you hit that $50,000 mark, 40-ish lakhs.
When I first hit 30 to 40 was in my job before this. When I was at Swiggy, I was the senior marketing manager. I handled all of their socials.
I think it was when I made my jump from advertising to the client side. Previously, before my news, I was at a fintech startup called Fi. A year and a half into Fi is when I hit the mark.
I first hit the 40 lakh mark, not because of my particular skill. It became a business sort of role. I was co-running an agency, so bringing business, making sure that invoice gets cleared.
When was this?
This was 2019. If you were going hiring and you had the budget of hiring someone for 40 lakhs, what would their resume look like?
Top three things.
Three things.
Top three things.
Managerial skills. I think people management is very, very important, especially when you're working in a startup like mine where things are moving by the second, right? So internal stakeholder management, people management, right? Like immediately, are you able to mentor, train the people that you're working with? Are you able to give them the right kind of guidance? And the third is obviously their technical skills, right? Like, are they really good at what they do? I think one vertical depth and like horizontal knowledge.
I think definitely insights and experience in the industry. Because I mean, I'm looking at someone who will help me take what I'm building forward, not just sort of maintain course, right? To someone who has great leadership. Like, you're going to be brought in at a senior role. You need to be able to lead the people under you. Third thing I would hire for is, I think, culture. They need to like what we're building out here and not just the fact that I'm paying them 40 lakhs.
So they shouldn't switch for money.
They should. I would
Culture
not.
is equal to low attrition.
Yeah.
So there's something, that Viren and Minhaz both echoed, that this person is coming in leadership. So what that translates to me as is that person is reliable. Like, I can leave a charter to that person. I don't need following up. I'll probably get updates. Yeah. That's not that says there is not a junior talent. A person who can own something.
So what do you think about this, right? So to flip the narrative on its head, that you have creative freelancers and consultants, business consultants and stuff, that also make... They neither have a team to lead, nor are they heading a vertical, nor are they culture.
I would differ.
No, I'm just trying to sort of open up the discussion. Say, are they not worth 40 lakhs? Or is it just this that's worth 40 lakhs?
Okay, so I'll tell you about this consultancy model. I've explored it recently. I consult a few brands and I make about, $50,000. Now, one is, okay, you give your time to a brand, own a certain business unit for them. You can drive a certain metric and it becomes fairly easy when you're attached to performance, because performance gives instant ROI. Brand, it's a little hard.
Yeah.
The model that's working with a lot of people, and I remember having heard of some ex-VP of Wakefit who does this. What he does is, he goes to companies and he's like, I'll come in for 3 months. I will charge 7 lakhs a month for 3 months. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to do OKRs, I'm going to do your first few key hires on that department, I'm going to build this department, I'm going to set the vision for the year or the next quarter or multiple quarters ahead. And then in 3 months, when this has picked up momentum, I leave and I go to another.
It's like you come, you give in your inputs and you tap out.
And you're also on your toes. That it's not like I'm here forever. I come in to solve X,
A
Y,
very
Z problem.
specific problem.
Yeah.
It's a solution.
Yeah.
Now you know, go make 40 lakhs. Now you guys know. Okay, so technical skills at 10 lakhs and 40 lakhs are nearly the same.
To get to 10 to 40, it's not experience only adds so much incremental value. It becomes more soft skills. Like soft skills become like your needle moving pieces for a 40 lakh job, because how do you manage
Multiple
stakeholders? How do you do tough conversations, take tough calls, stand by those tough calls?
And I think that's a huge problem in India, because I think most people think, okay, technical skill, that's all I need. Yeah. Soft skills, some people might just inherently have soft skills. You see them as like the early risers, right? The blue-eyed boys and girls and all this stuff.
I think it's also that X factor, right? Like you're rightly saying, that soft skill could, there are certain people, everyone could have passed out from the same college with great grades, walk into a room, but you'll always there are going to be 2 or 3 people that stand out. And
I'll give you a good example also. Like, well, I'm not just hiring someone because they have Photoshop. The policy is you have to have a page of your own and you have to have been creating and accruing followers on your own. To me, your technical skill is your ability to make social work for you personally. Therefore, that will translate into your work. So I look at that as a technical skill. That's not something that you'd find in a vocational.
And it's not you using Photoshop. The skill entirely changes. You using whatever the fuck to drive.
Your page is social, right? Hence, creator first.
There are a lot of channels on YouTube that talk about how can developers make 40, 50 lakhs right out of college. And if you look at, coaching institutes or other courses, online courses, they promise marketers salaries of about 5 lakhs an annum. That's probably where they start. But 40 lakhs and 50 lakhs, these are like figures where you can have a great life in India. Can marketers make these figures Is this possible?
There are certain industries that pay you really well from the get-go. I don't know if marketing has reached that point yet, especially in India.
Within marketing, also the people that end up making those big fat paychecks are people that either come from an IIM and stuff like that, and that's the background, right?
If you go closer to business roles, revenue driving roles like leading marketing on the brand side or client servicing on the agency side, I think it's easier to get there. Very small percentage of people really do get there.
Has there ever been any instance in your entire sort of professional journey, different places that you've been, that you felt that you were getting paid less than what your male counterpart was making?
Asking, I think as women, I think we're always very awkward to ask for more. And you think that, whoever the companies are doing you a favor by paying you. So I think that cultural mind shift really had to happen pretty intensely. Despite that, I think it's taken me a while, and every now and then I do think, like when I talk to like some of my peers and stuff, like to understand again like what salary brackets and stuff like we should be operating in. I do think that there is probably like a gap. Obviously, that could be for a multitude of reasons, right? And I don't know whether gender could be the only thing. Again, within I think every organization, especially on the client side, there are categories, right? You've got your A-level pays, B, C, D. And this is also largely based on like your MBA degrees, your B schools, all of that. I don't have that. So that again puts me at a slight disadvantage. So I think there is that part that we need to kind of consider because that makes it more wholesome. But that said, I think there have been multiple times where, people have tried to cut me down and say that, okay, you know what?
You were overpaid.
You're overpaid.
Asking for more than your worth.
Yes, because I think it's also important to identify employers, companies that respect and understand what you're worth, and they make sure that you're happy on that front. So
the problem is not just people underpaying them, it's also societal conditioning. Like boys are brought up with that overconfidence. Like I'm not saying don't ask for what you think you deserve. I'm just saying that women tend to be very underconfident in the skills that they have. That's why it becomes the pay gap continues to increase.
Okay, what according to you pays most, right?
Some industry that's making money, if you were taking a revenue driving role, which is which makes sense for them, then you fit the grand scheme of things that okay, you're in a good market, your company is doing well, and you are in a function that is doing well for the company, hence you deserve to get paid more. So I think that is what pays more.
What is the men versus women ratio on your team?
I consult with a company and the men versus women ratio is really good. I think it's about
really good. Yeah, what is really good?
50-50.
50-50.
In fact, more women. It could be 60-40.
If you don't count me, 60-40.
If you don't, you're counting
Call me
one
50-50.
part of your team.
Call me 50-50.
50-50, yeah.
Mine is, I think largely, I have about 4 or 5 boys on my team and the rest are all women. And I've got like about 20 people.
Oh, fun.
That's a lot of teams.
That's your team or that's a company?
It's my team.
Shots fired.
20 people, but the ratio should be about 30-70. Role, company, year, salary. Can you give us a timeline of when you started working and what you do now?
16, I came to Bangalore, worked with Your Story. Briefly, 15,000 rupees. 26,000 started up with some amazing dudes. 26,000 was the salary in 2017. 2018 remained the same. 2018-19 also took a break from that company, did some consulting while, also building the performance marketing agency in that company. Avalon Labs was the name. 2019, I made a collective of around 35 to 40 lakhs. 2020, we raised some money. Founders get very low salary, came down to something around 18 lakhs a year. 21 remained there. 22 remained there. 23 also remained there. Ouch. Okay. Then came down to zero. We sold that company, took a break. And then 2024 is when I started consulting. I make around 50 lakhs.
So me, I don't remember the year, but 22 Feet Tribal, I think a year and a half, 2 years, I think I spent out there. I went from 15 to 21. Then I think Jack in the Box, 35 per month. Web Chutney, I think was around 45 in hand. Then I moved to this agency whose name I don't take because fuck that place. Around 55 is what I was making out there. Okay. Then that's when the big jump happened. So then I asked for 9. So I think I was at 7.5 and I asked for like 8, 9 and then I jumped up to 12. 2 years at Tinder, went from 12 to 24. Then I shot up directly to around 33 plus. Now I'm of course a founder, so that make less than half of what I did at Swiggy.
I started working in 2013. Started at 15. Was at this place called Razorfish, which was part of the Publicis group. I think over there I went from 15 to 25 and then I stayed at 25 till I left. Jack in the Box, I think I started off at 35. I was there for about 3 years. When I left, I was at 45 or 50, I think. Then I moved to Web Chutney and I think I was making 90 over there. And then I think after that is where my big jump happened when I moved to 5. I went to about 180, which was my fixed, and then I had like a bunch of variables.
28 to 30.
So that's 30.
30, yeah, you made 30.
And then I moved, which is again like it's given me like a solid bump.
Okay, fantastic. That's a wrap.
That's all right.